I sold my house in Dallas. I packed, half a container and a few suitcases and my two dogs. And I was like, I don't know how long it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be 6 months or 2 years or forever, but I want to give it a try because, when I lost my husband in my 30s, I was like, I'm too young to be dead inside. I want to
Mm.
live my someday now.
Welcome to the Self Care Goddess podcast, where healing stories, practical self care strategies, and science backed tools to regulate stress, feel calm, grounded, and energized come together to help you reclaim your vitality. I'm your host, Rita Savoya, holistic nutritionist, trauma informed breathwork coach, and founder of Breathwork Barista. This podcast is for women who are ready to restore their energy and radiance, reconnect with their bodies, reawaken their inner power, and redefine self care as a way of being. Through science meets soul practices, restorative mind body tools, and real stories of transformation, we'll explore how true well being can help you live with more joy, vibrant health, and authentic connection to yourself and those you love. Take a deep breath in, let it go, and let's begin. Hello and welcome to another episode of today of the Self Care Goddess podcast with today's theme, moving overseas. Here's how to make it stress free. Really, really interesting topic. And it's actually very close to my heart too. So I'm very, very excited to talk to Melissa here today. But before we start, as you know, on the Self Care Goddess podcast, let's allow ourselves these 3 minutes of just tuning out what is going on around us, what's going to happen after, or what happened before, and just tuning in with the present moment. How do we do that? We just allow ourselves to maybe even lower our gaze, close our eyes, and just start noticing our breath moving in and out of our bodies, preferably in through the nose and out through the nose if that's available to you today. If not, out through the mouth works as well. Start noticing your breaths flowing in. And on the exhales, see if you can allow the exhales to soften any part of your body that is feeling a little tense, maybe stiff. Allow the exhales to soften and relax those areas. And now I invite you to channel the breaths into the area of the heart. Allowing your breaths to flow in and out of your heart area, energizing this beautiful organ that's keeping you alive. And as you continue these heart-focused breaths, I invite you to visualize someone that you're grateful for today. Visualizing them as if they were right here in front of you. I invite you to send them all the love, the gratitude, and the appreciation for being in your life. And now I invite you to turn the attention onto you and give yourself some love, gratitude, and appreciation for being here. Taking a few moments for yourself. On your next inhale, I invite you to breathe in deeply into your belly. And then let it go as you exhale. Slowly flutter your eyes open and come back to us. Thank you. Thank you for participating in that quick coherence technique. So today we have Melissa Darny. She is an American entrepreneur who has been living her dream life in Panama since 2012. As a CEO of Choose Panama, luxury real estate and rental agency based in Panama City, Melissa specializes in helping clients find the perfect investment properties that align with their personal dreams and financial goals. Her unique approach sets her apart from other real estate professionals. She guides clients from their first inquiry through every stage of settling into Panama, offering support long after the transaction is complete. Melissa's dedication has earned her a long list of satisfied clients who have successfully found their someday in Panama. Whether it's for a vacation or extended stay or a permanent move, known for her expertise and genuine care, she has helped countless individuals and families create their ideal life in this beautiful tropical oasis. How are you today? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. It was so wonderful to start with a meditation. I've never done that before.
I got to walk the talk here, right?
Right.
On the
Wonderful.
Self Care Goddess podcast for sure. And thank you for participating as well. So I'm actually currently in Mexico right now and I do the whole snowbird thing. So I'm from Toronto, but I come to Mexico for the winter because it is way too cold for my Mediterranean blood. I always say that. So I get what you're doing and I get why you did what you did. So I'm just so super interested in this because I get this question all the time. How do you do it, Rita? How did you do it? And all I say is I'm not waiting for retirement to do this. So that's why I'm doing it now. But what inspired you to leave Texas and move to Panama in 2012?
I turned a tragedy into one of the best things in my life. My
Mm.
husband was killed in a car accident,
Oh, I'm
and
sorry to hear that.
I was left in this place of, you know, how do I find myself again? How do I find my joy again? How do I discover, me again? And I think one of the things that really drew me to Panama was I was in search of an adventure. And when I moved here, I sold my house in Dallas. I packed, half a container and a few suitcases and my two dogs. And I was like, I don't know how long it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be 6 months or 2 years or forever, but I want to give it a try because, when I lost my husband in my 30s, I was like, I'm too young to be dead inside. I want to
Mm.
live my someday now.
Mm.
So I came here, and one of the things I wanted to do, because it had been a while, is I was like, okay, one of the things I want to do is I do want to get married again. I was happily married. I want to do that again. 3 days after I moved to Panama City, I met my current husband, who's from Brazil.
Mm.
So that was, wonderful. I came here not knowing more than 5 words of Spanish. So looking back, I would have liked to have learned a little bit more before I moved here. But I came here, made so many friends. When you're an expat, and all an expat means is somebody who's living in a country that's not their own. So when you're an expat living in an area with a lot of other expats, you'll meet more people in 1 month than you would meet in 5 years back home.
It's so true. I agree.
So one of the things I had really worried about was, am I going to be able to make friends? And now it's so laughable because there are so many people you meet on a daily basis. You just don't have time for everyone. Will I be able to date again? And that one was solved very quickly. And then will I be able to, I came here to work, I came here to open a business, will I be able to make money? And that, of course, proved yes, also because I found a niche that was really wide open and underserviced. So I was able to do something very unique in the real estate market in Panama.
That's
So yeah,
so
I've been here
amazing.
since 2012 and it's really the best decision I've ever made.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I'm sorry again about the loss of your
Thank you.
husband. But you are right, your late husband, but you are right. It's these things that push us into exploring other things that you would have never even thought of doing, right?
That's
So
right.
it's so
That's right.
beautiful that you've taken that leap of faith. And you knew that you wanted to live. I love that, by the way. Live your Sunday now. I love that. Should be doing t-shirts and hats and everything. Living my someday now. I love it. So tell us a little bit more about the cultural adjustments. So you talked a little bit about the language. So what are some that really stood out and in hindsight, you're like, I should have maybe prepared a little bit more before coming here. But I mean, they make great stories, right?
Yes. You know, one of the big surprises is the Latino culture is very family oriented and very chivalrous. So if anything goes wrong, there's always, and it doesn't have to be, it can be a man of any age, any income, any, whatever he is, a man is going to help a woman in need, whether you lose, you get a flat tire or you need a door open for you. So it was really beautiful moving into a land of chivalry, number one. Number two, because it is so family oriented, when, for example, my mom comes to visit, people want to help senior citizens. So they want to help you across the street. They want to help you in the grocery store. It's very different from the US, which sometimes going to be a little bit out for yourself because family is everything here. Um, there's a pro and a con to that. The pro is obviously people treat you like you're a person. The con is sometimes, there is the manana attitude because if
Yeah.
they're, having a conversation with somebody, they're not going to stop to go beyond time to something else. When you go to the doctor here, you're going to spend 45 minutes with your doctor. They're going to get to know you, and it's about
Wow.
40 bucks. It's not out of pocket. That's the whole cost is about 40 bucks. And it's so unusual to have that sort of really deep care. And it's not fake, it's just part of the culture. So it was a culture shock, but in a good way.
Yeah, for sure. That's really awesome. I love it. Can you explain the concept of mañana for those that don't know?
So manana,
I know what you mean exactly. But you know what's interesting, Melissa? So I lived in Dubai for 10 years and they
oh,
have the same thing. They're like bukra, which is like tomorrow. Like it's so funny. They have that as well. And I guess Italians do too. I think it's just cultures that value relationships versus like task
exactly.
oriented, transactional, So yes, tell
Right.
us the concept of that in your own.
So manana actually means tomorrow, but it's a translation that doesn't mean tomorrow. So if on Monday somebody says manana, it doesn't necessarily mean Tuesday. It could mean Wednesday or Thursday. It kind of
That's so
just
true.
means not now. So,
Mm,
the plumber is supposed to come and oh, I can't manana. It could be tomorrow, but it could be Wednesday. Could be
yeah.
Thursday.
Right,
So
right.
you just get used to that. That's one of the things, I was a type A plus personality when I moved here. And I tell people you have to leave your A plus at the border. You can
Yeah.
be a minus, but you can't be an A plus because you'll go crazy.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. But do you ever get used to it? I don't know. I still get frustrated. It's just like, the meditation helps for sure, and my breathwork practice helps me. But I don't know if I get used to it. I'm not sure because I when I traveled to Italy too, I'm just like I'm hungry, and it's like 3 o'clock, and it's just like that in between, when most restaurants are closed. They're like,
Right,
no, you should have ate
right,
something at 12 because we're not open till like 5 or 7 o'clock. So
right.
I'm not sure if you, I don't know. I don't think I get used to it. I just kind of live with it.
You
Have
know,
you gotten used to it?
Yes, because a lot of the things that are frustrating are like the service personnel. And
Right.
in my business, so I do real estate, we do property management, we do vacation rentals. And in the process of doing this over the past almost 13 years, we have developed a Rolodex of people who are very responsive to us because they know that manana doesn't work, with us. So I say one of the
Mm,
best things about me isn't just me helping you buy real estate. It's my knowledge and my Rolodex. So I do have people that can solve problems today.
yeah.
And if they say mañana, they really mean, tomorrow. Today's Thursday, so they're going to mean Friday. Uh, so that helps. 90% of the time, it does work. There's still that 10% of the time. And the other thing, there's a lot of holidays in Panama. There's probably three times the number of holidays than there are in the US. And they take their holidays seriously. So
Mm,
if you try to get something done over a 5-day holiday, it's
forget
just
it.
forget it's not going to happen. So
Yeah.
now that I've been here long enough, you just know you can't have the expectation you're going to get something done because then it's frustrating. You
Hmm.
just have to
Hmm.
say, there's a 5-day holiday weekend. We're just going to enjoy it.
Exactly. That's so
Work
true.
will commence next week.
That's so true. So, how does the business environment compare to Texas or maybe the US in general?
The business environment here is very business friendly. That was one thing that was surprising, again, in the best possible way. When I lived in Dallas, I didn't grow up in Dallas. I grew up in California, which has never been super business friendly. And I think it's become even more so over the years. So when I left California and moved to Dallas, it was nice from a business standpoint. When I moved from Dallas here, it was even nicer because Panama, in a sense, is a young country. The Constitution was done in the early 70s, and it's not a litigious country. Now, what this means is a lot of the laws haven't been tested. So in Panama, if there's a law against something, fine, that's a law against it. But there are so many gray areas, and in gray areas, that's a yes. So if there's not a law against it, that means you can do it. And in business, that gives you a lot of freedom. So not only
Mm.
do you have much lower taxes here, but you have a lot of freedom in business to pursue things that make sense.
Mm.
Yeah. And
But
also
it,
living in a non-litigious area is very freeing
yeah, I like
coming
that
from the
actually.
US.
Yeah, I like the way you framed that. I've never really heard that in that way. So, what are some tips that you would give entrepreneurs that are looking to open up a business in Panama?
First of all, one of the things, a lot of businesses may not even exist here that exist in your home country. So
Hmm.
I would say if you're considering moving to Panama or overseas and you want to open a business, look around you where you are right now. What are the top 5 or 10 or even 20 businesses that you admire the most? Write them down. Who are their customers? What is the business? How much does it make? What does it cost to start up? And then when you come to someplace like Panama City, look around. Does the business exist? Does the client exist? Does the supply chain exist? And I would bet if you had a list of 20 businesses, there are going to be 5 businesses out of that 20 that maybe it's crowded at home, but here it's wide open and you could be very successful opening it.
Mm, that's beautiful. Those are really good tips that anyone can really take. But so you had a very traumatic moment that really pushed you to do what you're doing. In your opinion, what would you recommend someone that's sort of thinking about it? Like, is there a right time? And I know you're saying that living that someday is now, so that's probably signifying that there isn't. But is there something that maybe should be in place so that it's not too, abrupt of a move? And then, of course, if you have children, you need to consider
Right.
schooling and all of that. So, like any sort of what is your opinion on that?
I think there's a natural progression and think of it like going down a slide. So at the top of the slide, you're going to go visit, take a vacation, see what it's like when you come to Panama.
Mm,
Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? It's
yeah,
not for everyone, but some people love it. The
right.
weather here is good, 95% of the time. It's so much natural beauty. The people are friendly. There's a lot of upscale infrastructure.
Oh.
So one, do you like it? Then after you've taken a vacation and then you say, okay, I want to open this business, XYZ. You've done your homework at home and you say, okay, I want to open a cleaning business that focuses on upholstery cleaning in high-rise apartment buildings, very niche. Then you're going to come and you're going to say, okay, there's a desire for it, there's a need for it. It doesn't cost that much to open. Now I'm going to go visit an attorney. And that's something we can help you with. We can recommend an attorney that you see, and you're going to get the process started for residency. You're going to open a corporation. So you're going to do your due diligence with the attorney. And you're also going to talk to an accountant, just like you would at home if you're going to open a business. I've seen some people move here where they think that they can skip the normal business steps. So they come here, they land, and then they open a business, but they have not done the attorney. They have not opened a corporation. They haven't talked to an accountant. And when the business fails, it's not Panama's fault. It's their fault for not doing the due diligence.
Mm.
Then after doing that, and then you say again, okay, I've done the steps I need to do. I'm further down the slide. Am I ready to invest, X amount of dollars in the, hopes of having this business, we'll get this return. Do I need employees? If so, I'll need to understand employment law. Am I going to be a solopreneur? So there's a lot
Mm,
of questions you need to ask yourself in the process. But if you have, like I said, if you have an inkling of what you want to do, and if you're not sure, come up with those 20 businesses, and I guarantee you a couple of them could be successful here.
right. So you are recommending the business route versus the being employed under a company.
Yeah, it's hard to be employed in Panama. There's a lot of
Mm,
multinational companies,
right.
but unless you're, bilingual, then they're
Ah,
probably
okay.
not going to get hired by one of the multinational companies. So
Okay.
then if, getting a good wage from a regular company as an expat who doesn't speak Spanish is
Mm-hmm.
hard. Whereas
Right.
opening your own business and maybe targeting other expats, or
Right.
you don't have to target people in Panama. It could be, doing something online.
Yeah. Right.
Even if you wanted to do something here and targeting expats or hiring people who can, do that bilingual portion for you. But there's just different steps, just like any business, but do the due diligence first.
Very important. Yes. And learn from people like you, right? That have
Right,
gone through it and can really expedite the process and
right,
collapse some timelines for you.
right.
So, but even in terms of emotionally, do you think people need to be ready emotionally, or I don't know. I'm just like very curious because I get this question all the time. They're like, how are you going to leave your family? And I guess obviously it's easier when you're single and you don't have dependents. It's just a little easier to do that. But I got this question like so many times because I am very close to my family, but I still managed to leave for 10 years and go to Dubai. And now, I come to Mexico, and I just feel like if it's in your spirit to be doing this and to be being a little bit more free and just
Right.
traveling the world and getting to know more different from people from different cultures, as you mentioned earlier, it's very easy to make friends and in these places. But what are your thoughts on that? Is there like a personality type that can thrive in such a change, or no, you kind of develop
Y-
it?
I think a lot of people, so one of my closest friends, whose husband is my video engineer, so he's here too, they brought three kids down and they had some older children as well. They probably see their older children now more than they did because all the kids want to come to Panama to be on the beach. And
Right.
it's such an excitement. So usually the kids will come a couple times a year. The parents are now spending 4 months a year here. So I think it if family is your holdup, your family may come see you more often than you think.
It's a
There's
good point.
also a lot of people who spend part of the year here. I would say that's the majority of my clientele is they'll spend a portion of the year here, whether it's 1 month or 6 months or 10 months, and then of the year back home. So having a little bit of both, I think, is also exciting. But again, don't underestimate how often people will come see you once you live in paradise.
It's true. It looks, I mean, for the listeners, the viewers, you can see this. That's your background, right? That is
Yeah,
not a
that's
filter. That
I
looks so beautiful, so lush, like just gorgeous. Let me ask you, is it more of a walking city, or you need a car to get around?
so where I am, I'm about 15 minutes outside of the city. So where I
Okay.
am, you do need a car. I mean, you could
Okay.
use Uber, but certainly a car is nice. If you live in the heart of the city, there's public transportation, there's a metro that's expanding every
Mm.
year. There's taxi service, there's Uber, so many things are walkable. So if you didn't want to have a car and you wanted to live in the heart of the city, it's a great life. Everything is right there.
Wow. Is it safe? That's the next question I get asked all the time.
I feel
Mm.
much more safe in Panama City than I
Hmm.
did living in Dallas.
Wow. Wow.
And I
That
lived on a
speaks
golf course in
volume.
Dallas, and I feel much more safe here. So again,
Mm.
I think it comes down to, in a lot of cities, and I'm going to put, Rome and Paris in these categories, a lot of cities that have high tourism, the most dangerous places are where the tourists
Right.
go. In
It's
Panama,
true.
it's the opposite. The safest places are where the tourists go because so much of the country's economy relies on tourism.
Mm.
The country has, police on every corner. So these
Right.
presences here, I say where I live is like Disneyland. I mean, nothing ever happens. And it's so freeing to not have to worry about things like that.
For sure. I love that. So is there a common advice, Melissa, that you tend to give clients? Maybe let's see clients that are first sort of starting out to explore whether or not this move is for them. Is there a common advice that you tend to give them?
Yeah, there's so many people who I give away a free book on my website called Panama Uncorked. And so many people will request the book and say, "Oh, I'm planning a trip in 2028." And I'm like, "Why 2028? Why not this year?" If it's something that you're thinking of doing, if you're thinking of moving to Panama, come now, come as soon as possible, because you're either going to love it or you're not going to love it. But if you don't love it, check it off your list. If you do love it, then you can start making more concrete plans. But just get on a plane. It's not that expensive. There are direct flights from so many cities now, that makes it easier and easier to get here.
That's so true. And going back to your beautiful saying that you said in the beginning, living here someday now. So don't wait
Yeah.
and just and I
Yeah,
love that strategy. That is such a good strategy just to come and visit as a tourist, see, feel different areas of the city as well. Another
that's
quick question I wanted to ask you as well. Are there all the commodities that we have back home, or do you kind of have to, yeah?
right.
Okay, so it's
Uh, we
exactly.
have we have everything. So
Oh wow,
whatever
that's
you
good.
need.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So
That
we
makes
have, so for example, if you want high-end shopping like Chanel and Gucci, we have that. If you want low-end shopping like a dress for $1.99, we have that too. So you
mm,
have the whole gamut here. You can buy, again, caviar and high-end champagne. You can buy inexpensive rum that they make here. There's just this, and because we're on the Panama Canal, we literally get everything. So
right.
anything you can think of, you can either buy it, you can have it made. It's the lifestyle here too, because the wages are lower. It's so much easier to have people help you, whether
Right.
you want a once a week maid, a live-in maid, whether you want, a nurse to help you, whether you
Right.
want someone to cook your meals. Just getting that in-home help is really inexpensive, and they really care about you. One of the things everyone said to me before I moved was like, watch out for the maids. They're dishonest. They'll steal from
Mm,
you. And I could not find that further from the truth. I feel like every maid we've ever had, and we have a lot because we have a business and we have vacation rentals. So we have a lot of different ones work for us. They're the loveliest people. You treat them like people and they treat you with so much love and respect back.
mm. That's so cool. Yeah, I used to tell everyone when they asked me about Dubai, yeah, I'm living the life of the rich and famous without being rich and famous.
That's it.
Exactly. Yes. And really, really enjoyed it for sure. So do you see yourself going somewhere else or is this it?
Literally, I can't imagine it. The life that you live here, I don't know that I could live it anywhere else.
Right.
That's you just nailed it. I'm living the life of a rich and famous superstar. And why would I go back to being a normal person who has to, mop my own floors?
Yeah. It's so hard because I did that. I came back to Toronto and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's some things that I definitely missed about Dubai. But I wouldn't do it again. That was one adventure and it's just a chapter in my life. And now moving on to other adventures. So is there a really awesome advice that you have been given that still holds true today? These are just sort of rapid fire questions I'm going to
Yeah,
to throw at you.
before I got married the first time, this old guy who had been married forever basically said to me, he's like, "Look, when I got married, divorce wasn't an option. You may have wanted to kill the person, but divorce was never an option." He says, "So my advice to you is keep your eyes wide open before you get married and half closed after you're married." And I would apply this same advice to moving overseas. You know, do your due diligence. Look at all the things you like and don't like. And if there's, something that's, a deal breaker, understand that because it won't change once you move here. But then once you're here, some things that may drive you crazy in your own home country, you just have to close your eyes halfway and say, okay, That's part of the charm of being here.
Yeah.
And it's not going to change. So I'm either going to accept it or I'm not going to accept it.
Yes, it
It-
tells a
For
story.
me, one of those things is, they'll make a right-hand turn from the far left lane. It's, a little aggressive driving. Um, and you just have to say, okay, that's just part of life here. I'm
Yeah.
not going to change it. So I'm going to compensate.
Right. Amazing. So what do you do in your business then if somebody's right, all right, I think I'm ready to take this next move into researching it and doing my due diligence? What kind of offers or offerings that do you offer your clients?
So we can help people through every part of it. If you want to come for a vacation, we offer gorgeous vacation rentals that are absolute beachfront. After you come for vacation, if you're interested in investing, either for pure investment for return on investment or for a vacation home, we can help you with that. And then once you purchase a vacation home, we can do property management for you. Not everyone wants to rent out their property. So if you don't, we can just manage it. If you do, we can also do rental management for you so that when you're not using it, we can get you ROI so it can pay for itself. Typically, for our vacation rentals that we manage, it takes about 3 months on the market, on the rental market, to pay for the whole year's worth of expenses because the carrying costs are pretty low. So in 3 months, if you use it for 9 months, rent it out for 3 months, it pays for itself. Everybody's happy. So we can
Wow.
help you through the entire process.
That's beautiful. So here I know in Mexico there's low season and high season. So the actual ROI when you purchase something for investing, if you're going to use it as well, is not that high because you end up being here when it's high season. So is that the same in Panama?
It is. We do have a high season, and when it's snow on the ground in North America, that's
Hmm.
high season.
Right.
So November to April is high season, but then
Hmm.
we also have a what we'll call a mid-season, which is vacation season. So that's June, July, August, when a lot
Mm.
of people are traveling from Europe, from the
Mm.
US with their children.
Right.
And then our low season is really only May, September, October. So we have just a couple months of true low season. Because we're so close to Panama City, we have a lot of business travelers also that rent.
Hmm.
I think we get a better return on investment than just a pure beach
Right.
community
Right.
would. And that's why, one of my owners, he's here during high season every year. He's
Hmm.
used the apartment. So his 3 months are actually low season rentals, and it's still paying for the entire year.
Interesting. I like that. And so the from May to, sorry, what did you say was the low season? August, September,
So
October?
May, September, and October.
Oh, May, September, and October.
Uh,
Are they rainy seasons or
so May starts rainy season, but it doesn't rain very much in May.
okay.
It may rain, 5 or 10 minutes a couple times a week, maybe. And then as the season progresses, it becomes a little bit rainier. So in
Right.
September to November,
Mm,
it's true rainy season.
like
Some
here, yeah.
people I know don't want to be here in rainy season, but I have to tell you, rainy season is my favorite.
Really?
Yeah, I
Okay.
love the rain. And it doesn't rain, it only rains all day, like about 2 days out of the year. The
Right.
other days it might rain for 20 minutes to an hour,
Okay.
and that's in that 3 month period.
Is that
And again, not
refreshing?
every single day.
It's actually refreshing little,
Yeah, it is refreshing.
break. So, and in the summers, they're not like super hot if you have Europeans coming to visit or just in general, summer vacationers, it's not
Yeah,
hot.
so the summer in Panama is January, February, March, April. So
Oh, right.
the North American summer, which would be June, July, August,
Ah, got
is
it.
yeah, so it's starting to be rainy season, so you don't have the intense heat that you have during
That's
Panamanian
awesome.
summer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit cooler. It really never gets above 90, 93. I would say most days are in the high 80s. And then, if it rains, wonderful. If it doesn't, you've got a nice breeze. So it's pretty nice all year long.
I love that. I can see now why the ROI is different than a
Yes,
regular beach
yes,
town rental for sure. Really, really interesting. Piqued my interest. I may come and visit you, Melissa, and
for
see
sure.
how yeah, how beautiful that lush green scenery right behind you. And so, in terms of I like to ask the guests, what are your top three non-negotiable self-care habits? So, what are yours, Melissa?
I learned how to dance in Panama. This was one of the
Ooh,
things, and I have to tell you, it changed my life. It's made me feel healthier, feel better.
yeah.
I feel like look 10 years younger than I did a few years ago. So
Like what kind of
it's
dancing? Like salsa?
I started salsa.
Nice.
Now I'm doing tango, cha-cha,
Oh,
samba. So yeah, I dance every single day. I have a dance instructor that I go to twice a week, and it really does. It's one of the few things I can do where everything, the world shuts off and it's just me and the dance. And if I don't dance on a day, I'm cranky all day.
mm,
So it's something I have to do for myself.
yes.
The second thing is red light therapy. That's something that
Mm,
is so good, not only for my skin, but for my brain. I feel like it, again, relaxes me. It allows my thoughts to calm down. If I put my red mask on for, 30 minutes, it's something else that I really enjoy. And the third thing is time with my puppies. There's nothing like a little nature and dogs to just make the world seem perfect.
yeah. What kind of dogs do you have?
I have two Maltipoos. I have
Oh,
one old one that's almost 15 and one young one that's just a year old.
oh, cute. Really cute. So, what is your legacy? And thank you for sharing those. Those are awesome. I love dancing myself. I started ecstatic dancing here
Oh,
in Mexico. So really, really free flowing. Not there's no technique to it. It's just however you want to move your body. And I just find that so liberating. And I get you. When you dance, you're just literally lost and flowing. And it just
yeah,
feels so beautiful, especially if you run your own business and just always
right.
go, go, go in a very high pressured environment. So it's really nice way to release. I love that. Thank you for sharing those.
You're welcome.
So, what is your legacy, Melissa? What do you want to be known for?
So many people, when I moved to Panama in 2012, literally they would take me aside and they'd be like, "What are you running away from?"
Mm,
And I'm like, "I'm not running away from anything. I'm running towards something."
yeah.
Well, now a decade later, those same people who are like, why? Half of them are like, I think I'm going to move to Panama. I'm coming. And so many of our different groups, my groups of friends back in Dallas and even in California, they're now slowly migrating. So our group of friends that once were in Dallas, the group is getting bigger. So that's fun. So I think my legacy is, I'm one of the people that started this movement toward a better way of life.
And we don't need to wait, like I mentioned earlier myself, for retirement to live this, because that's not
Right. That's
it,
right.
it doesn't have to be, right? If you do your due diligence and maybe there is something driving you more, whether it's what happened to you, or it doesn't have to be. I believe taking that first next step and just piquing that interest and just checking it out as a vacation spot. And that's actually what we did here in Mexico. We went for vacation and we loved it. And my parents ended up buying a place. So very interesting how we followed that procedure as well. So, where, if somebody is interested in knowing more about the services and about just exploring Panama through with your help, where can they connect you? Where is the best place?
So, two places. You can go to my website, choosepanama.com. Once you're there, make sure and request my free book, Panama Uncorked. This is a really easy ebook that's a lot of bullet points. You can zip through it in just a couple hours to give you some basic information about Panama. It's everything you need to visit, live, and invest. Then the next place would be on YouTube. And again, it's at Choose Panama. I have a podcast called The Panama Podcast. And because everything is so visual that I'm showing you, I do think I would suggest anyone who wants to watch it on YouTube more even so than listening to the podcast, just, audio version, because it's so nice to see when I'm talking about this is the color of trees to see that, or this is the building in the city, or this is the restaurant to see the actual thing that I'm talking about. And again, that's at Choose Panama on YouTube.
Thank you. Yes, definitely checking it out. I will also add the ebook in the show notes, a link to the ebook in the show notes as well. anything you want to close or wrap up with? This has been so enlightening. Thank you for sharing your tips and your story as well. And you just look amazing. You're glowing.
Oh,
Everything is just working. And so thank you. I really do value your time that you have shared with my community today. So if there's anything you want to wrap up with.
sure. One thing, I think there's a lot of people who have fear. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it because I'm afraid. And I think if you just say, you know what, but what's the opposite of that? What's going to happen if I don't do it? And again,
Yes.
don't make a commitment, just take a vacation. That's the
Yes,
first
I love
step.
that. I love it. I love it. Don't make a commitment, just take a vacation. I love it. And
Yeah,
it's true because I mean, I think there's several studies now of people on their deathbeds. They're not regretting the things that they did. They're regretting the things that they didn't. So
that's
yes,
right.
if you have that fear, actually I'm reading this book where it's talking about the opposite of fear, or not the opposite, but a good way to conquer fear is just to take action
Yes,
and just take that action, and then your mind will come up with creative ways to deal with it. If you have all of these doubts or fears, then just take action, and that action could be just book your vacation, right? Yeah.
that's right. Why not?
Amazing. Yes, exactly. Why not? Yes. Thank you so much, Melissa. You are so beautiful. Thank you for your beautiful energy here, for the amazing information. And I'm looking forward to catching up with you hopefully soon.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Take care. Bye bye. Thank you for tuning in to the Self Care Goddess podcast. If today's episode inspired you, share it with another woman who's ready to reclaim her vitality and lead from within. To continue your journey, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and connect with me on ritasavoya.com. Until next time, remember, self-care isn't selfish, it's your superpower. Take a deep breath in, exhale, and keep rising. Ciao for now.